Hey, Facebook. Sit with me, talk with me while I wait in carpool line to pick up my son Eli. All day long. I had a couple appointments today. I was talking to a few people and then spent the rest of my day catching up on, the news, the economic situations, looking at the numbers, looking at the statistics, going through prophetic words released, and I'm just astounded by everything that's happening that really I've been talking about for a couple years now, but really pushing hard recently with the Islam situation, and now we're seeing it all over the college campuses and what's going on with everybody's financial life and what the Lord has pushed me to learn and understand when I'm teaching in the park. Look, I want to talk about what is ahead for this country. And I have been talking about it and peppering it into all of my sermons and my platform, and have gotten so much resistance. Why is a preacher talking about money? Why are you always making classes about money? Money is something that the Lord has downloaded to me that is going to be a massive problem. And it's on our doorstep. And the Josephs have this anointing about them that is hyper focused and hyper wise in this area, because we have been taught or are being taught to take dominion in a time that's going to be very concerning and very tough. Now, look, there are global problems and there are nation problems. We are going to go through global problems while we're going through our own nation problem. The black horse is set to ride. However, that's a global issue, and the black horse is economic. I don't believe we're globally economically there yet for the black horse to ride. I still believe we're in the red. The white horse ran in 2020, war, the red ones, and the communism and war, the red one's riding now. I don't believe the black one runs until closer to 2029, 2030 time frame. That's just where I'm thinking. So that is something we still have to deal with. This whole thing with America and what we're about to go through is something completely additional. I believe this is specifically for our nation. And it will be when 45 is in the office. We got to be careful how I say things on these platforms, because as you notice, they're buried, and then live streams don't go out. They'll let you live stream, but they'll bury it, or they won't send your signal out. So if you like, share, that would be great. It helps get this information out if people want to know how to survive what's ahead in their households. In this nation, we're going to go through a reset, and we are going to have revivals. I get asked a lot, why are you always focusing on what is ahead? Oh, no. I'm focused on being prepared for what is ahead while we're watching revival. Look, I'm in revival. I'm in a church that is in revival every day. Like, I am in revival. I see revival. Revival's been happening where I'm at for at least 4 years. And the revival is going to grow. We see the anti-Semitism up on these college campuses, but at the same time, we see an entire college worshiping and praising the Lord. So while the darkness is rising, so is the church. So is the revivals. The revivals are going to come in these dark, dark times. 45 gets in, and all of this stuff that's been caused, economic issues, not only are we going to hit hyperinflation. After seeing what I've seen today and reading all the statistics, we are headed to stagflation. And I'm about to talk about that in a minute. None of you have ever, in this generation, understand what that feels like. There is not one nation that's ever been recorded, past, present, and not even, because it's not even going to happen in the future, where fiat, or countries that operated in fiat, paper money, lasted. When we went off the gold standard, Nixon promised he would bring it back, but he never did. He ended up attaching it to the petrodollar. All right. Since then, all of the BRICS nations have dumped America's dollar when buying oil. Venezuela just put out a piece last week that they're going to buy their oil in cryptocurrency. Well, the Saudis, South Africa, China, Russia, all of those BRICS nations have now collaborated where they're not buying oil in the US dollar anymore. Now, on top of that, you have Israel that's going to defend themselves against Iran, and I pretty much am waiting any day for Israel to hit Iran in their oil fields. They're going to cripple them financially. When that happens, oil goes up to $200, $300 a barrel, and everyone at the gas tank is looking at $8 to $10 a gallon of gas. Now, guess who gets blamed for that? Israel. So it'll be more anti-Semitism that's rising. They're going to blame it on 45. Now, I'm telling you this prophetically, guys. I'm telling you the downloads I've received. Now, what's interesting is I've been talking about this since last year, and wouldn't you know that the prophets have come out recently, nation prophets that are called to the nations, just came out with a prophetic alert for the prophetic roundtable. And it was from Cindy Jacobs. What did she say? It was sent to me. I didn't even know she had put it out. That Islam was going to rise in this nation. Didn't I say that last year? And hadn't I been saying that in my Friday night church sermons? Because the Lord was telling me and downloading me, pioneer the space. Tell the people, pioneer this space. And I was getting resistance and pushback, but that's okay. That's what happens when you pioneer a new space. Cindy Jacobs comes out, puts out the prophetic alert. She got this download while she was traveling on the airlines. Islam is rising. It's rising. It has been peppered in all of our colleges. Billions upon billions of dollars since 2012 have been paid into by foreign nations into our colleges. 90% of those payouts from foreign nations were from Islamic nations. This is why you see all of the children so anti-Semitic, because they funneled in all of this foreign money, and then they put in their professors, and the professors brainwashed all of the kids. You send your kids off to college, they're Christians, they come out acting like you're the crazy one, and they're the enlightened ones. They have been completely brainwashed, and it was by design, and it's been a 2-decade plan. We're going to go through a series of hard times here in this nation. Now, the black horse doesn't ride, in my opinion, until 2028, 2029, and the black horse, the seals are global. This will be something I believe that's very specific to this nation, to the USA. We're going to be crippled and we're going to be brought to our knees financially. I think it will start feeling it around 2025, 2026, and 27. It is going to be hard. It is going to be one of those things where 2025, we'll get out of this. It's okay. We've got enough in our savings, 401ks, all this, until all of that just starts to deplete to the point where people are broke. Just broke. Stagflation. So what ends up happening with stagflation is all of the things that are necessary for living go up. That would be your utilities, your food, your gas, all of the housing. But all of the other assets that don't matter, like the cars and things like that, they go down. But the things you need to survive as a human being, they skyrocket. All right. And if you do not have things in money and assets that are futuristic, this is why I pumped out the masterclass for cryptos. This is why the Lord had me in this vein 7 years ago, telling me that this is where people were going to have to hedge their money. Eventually, Bitcoin will disappear because Bitcoin is not backed by an asset. Although I like Bitcoin, it's backed by how few that there are. It will be replaced with another asset, which prophetically, many of us have seen that this asset will be $20,000 to $25,000 a coin, and it will be replaced because all the banks have picked it up, and it will be an asset-backed digital currency. Anyway, I talk about this on my platforms. Until then, this space and other asset spaces outside of the US dollar is where you're going to hedge your protection. And the ones that have heard the Lord, the ones that have heard the vessels of the Lord, the ones that understand the times and seasons that we're in, we're going to just fly right above this and be the Josephs that help out and come in and provide funding wherever it needs. They're going to blame it on 45. So 45 gets in, and all the chaos and ruckus and everything that they have caused will get landed on his shoulders. And it'll be hard for him. But he is the only one that can be a wartime president and that will have a solution from heaven to be able to put this together. Many prophets, we've talked about this, have seen Canada, the United States, and Mexico having to merge currencies, almost like the euro, to be able to save our economic crisis that this entire nation will be in. Eventually, when the black horse begins to ride in 28, 29, I'm thinking, it'll be a global economic reset, and then we will all be under one currency. But until then, we're going to go into our own woe in this nation. I've warned, and I've warned, and I've warned, and at the same time, revival. At the same time, miraculous healings. Because I've also preached this. The revival is going to come in under circumstances of great darkness. In 2014, right around the time of Trump's first election, I had asked the Lord, there were so many prophecies going out. We're going into doom and gloom, and we're going to rise, and we're going to be glorious. And then, no, California's going to be thrown into the sea. And no, but we're going to rise. And I remember asking the Lord, I'm like, Lord, why is the church so bipolar? Which is it? And I clearly heard him speak to me. I was driving down the freeway. He said, daughter, it's both. It's the great and terrible day of the Lord. It's both. Which track are you on? And the people need to choose. Choose which side. You better be on the Lord's side. You better be on Israel's side. Also, I really believe I saw a headline from, I guess, Fox. Biden's already discussing his condemnation for Israel, talking about war crimes with Netanyahu. Watch what happens to this nation. It'll start shaking. It'll start rumbling. Just by him even talking about it. If we even do not back Israel and we betray her, you guys know we've also talked about this, what will rip in this nation. So we have to be prayerful for Israel. We have to be prayerful for the revivals taking off. You have to support your evangelist out there. You've got to help bring in the nets, the fish. Okay, you've got to you've got to get some financial education. That's what keeps the Christians poor. They have no financial education whatsoever. They have this lazy mentality that God's just going to take care of me, and he will. But at the same time, if there's no financial wisdom and education, you don't multiply those talents. You're not able to be fruitful to fund the kingdom. You're not able to soar when we go into stagflation, which we're going to go into 25, 26, 27, and 28. Almost probably his entire presidency is going to be piecing this back together. Like I said, there's been no nation in the past ever, go all the way back to Rome, go all the way back to the Ottoman Empire, go all the way back, that when they went to fiat, ever lasted. It's nothing that's backed, nothing asset backed. Now Trump will bring back assets backed by the dollar. He's always talked about that. It'll be a reset. And at first it will look like total chaos. At first it will look like it is bad. But it'll end up proving that it was necessary. And it will be beneficial to the American people once the dust settles and things are reset. I think the message now, when I talk about it, people are starting to see what I'm saying, where the message I was delivering last year, 2 years, 3 years ago, sounded just doom and gloom, but it was the message I was receiving from the Lord. And he was saying, I want you to prepare my people. And I've been trying to do that. And we are pretty much about there. As we go through the summer, expect great times financially, as fake money and fake propping begins to happen, especially in the cryptocurrencies. Man, there's a lot of wealth that's about to be made during this bull run up until the election. And that's going to be your ticket to watch what you spend. Put it into things where you can preserve it, because you're going to have to start buying assets, not paperback assets. Any kind of 401k, ETF, all paper. It's paper. You want to get close to the most original asset that you can get close to. Real property, real farmland, real cryptocurrencies, real metal assets. Real. Get as close to the real asset as you can get. When Stagflation happened, stagnation happened in the 70s, what grew exponentially was farmland. and properties. All of those things that were tangible, the needs of the people, food, water, energy, those things. I mean, if you're sitting in a bunch of cash right now, let's say that you're just sitting in a big chunk of cash in your savings. Well, because of inflation, that money has lost money. You haven't made any money. You are down probably 10%. That dollar does not buy very much anymore. Had you have put it in Bitcoin, had you put it into an asset that actually was able to be fruitful, you'd probably be a multimillionaire right now. If you put it in housing, if you put it in energy, if you put it in water, you probably would have been. So it's very important that you get financially educated. It's very important that you get into a church that's on fire and that operates in signs, miracles, and wonders. It's very important you get saved. It's very important you get your children in the youth groups and get them planted. All of these things are so important for the storm this country is about to head into that I've been talking about. And now the prophets, who everybody knows, are saying the same things I've been saying a year and a half ago. Islam's rising. It's not going anywhere. All of these woes are coming. Something's coming. It's going to sideswipe all the Americans. And it's going to hit at home. The only thing that really hits at home is people's bank accounts. Okay? So, prayerful. If you need help, you've got my courses. You've got my platform. Subscribe. Get whatever you need to get. Invest and figure this out. I'm about to pick up Eli. I got to run. I'll see you guys on YouTube. I'll do a longer video about this probably with more information. But until then, see y'all later. Bye.